tighter box around what you hold dear. And what do you hold dear? What? The Talmud? Even the Talmud states that ever since the temple was destroyed, the only way to get closer to God is through the 4 amos of halacha. And the only way to win this game is to protect all 4 bases. So what we need to do is toughen up and do it for the team and show our solidarity with our fellow Americans by winning. Having this baseball team is truly identifying with the American dream and the American people. Have you forgotten that? Well, have you? Why do you think this school thinks it's so important to have this baseball team anyway? Our boys are fighting and dying in Europe for our right to have democracy. Least we can do is play some baseball like we mean it. You keep that up, Schwartz, and you're in the bullpen. Now let's go out there and win one for the big guy. Boy, these boys need a lot of work.
Silence. Silence. For a word to be spoken, there must be silence, both before and after. The Zohar says that silence is good everywhere, except in connection with the Torah. And the Talmud says that a word is worth 1 coin, silence is worth 2.
You throw like a schmo!
As you can see, the world I grew up in was not one of silence. It was 1944, and while the war raged in Europe, Europe raged in Brooklyn. In our neighborhood alone, you had Irish, German, Spanish, and Jews from all over, including the Hasidim. There were 3 or 4 Hasidic courts in Williamsburg alone, each with their own synagogue, customs, and fierce loyalties. They could be seen out on the streets or behind shop counters, wearing their traditional garments of black and white, full beards, long payas, eking out eager livelihoods, and dreaming of Shabbat and festivals when they could close their shops and turn their attentions to their prayers, their rabbi, and God. I live with my father and attend the yeshiva where he teaches. My mother had died when I was very young. Our apartment is small and warm and crowded with books. In our home, words and ideas matter. Mathematics is my first love, and Talmud. In addition to being a promising young Talmudist, however, I'm also quite a good pitcher and second baseman. I play on my yeshiva's team. A league had been organized the year before to prove to the Gentile world that Jewish boys are good Americans, which was an important message to convey in 1944. I happen to have a dropping curve that drives most batters practically insane. For the first 16 years of our lives, Danny Saunders and I lived within 5 blocks of each other and never knew of each other's existence. If it hadn't been for this new league, we probably never would have. You see, the yeshiva that Danny attended organized a team too, and one warm Sunday in June, they showed up in our schoolyard for a game.
People are not always what they seem to be, Reuben. That is the way of the world.
That's something my father always said. He says that sometimes, instead of seeing a person one way, you need to listen for the silence of their souls. He says that sometimes the deepest form of communication is that of communicating silence. They were a unique sight. 15 boys in black and white, tzitzis showing from beneath their shirts, payas dangling, and all with the look of grim determination. Our team wore whatever we wanted. A Hasidic rabbi sat on their bench, reading and hardly taking notice of the game. Our coach was our gym teacher, Mr. Galanter, a chunky man in his 30s with a very Semitic nose and a very wartime vocabulary.
Malter! Malter, get your tuchus over here!
We all wondered privately why I wasn't off fighting somewhere in the war. What is it, Mr. Galanter?
You're looking good out there, Malter. You got an arm like a sharpshooter.
Yeah, it'll be a good game.
A tough game, they're good little fighters.
Those Hasidim?
Don't underestimate, they're killers!
Really?
They play like winning is the first of the 10 commandments. They got Danny Saunders at first. Louie's got in his glove, never misses a catch. And his father is some big macher, and he ordered the team never to lose because it would shame the yeshiva or some shugana thing like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and this Saunders, he hits hard. Like a rocket the ball goes, always straight up, right back at the pitcher. So you stay alert at second. If you pitch later, be careful. Already warned Schwartz.
I'll look out, Mr. Galanter.
All right, now go get out there. Let's win this one. All right, guys, let's go, let's go, let's go! Play ball! Go, Bird! Move in! I can drive a battleship between you and Pottersman. That's it. Keep the ranks close, people. What is that, Cantor? What are you looking for up there? Paratroopers? Keep your head in the game.
Gedenkt, Hamidin. Verwehmen und verbossen wir spielen.
Ja.
Remember for what and for whom we play. Mr. Galanter was right. They were fierce. Particularly Danny Saunders. He never missed a catch. And his first hit was a line drive straight at Schwartz's head that knocked him on his tuchus and resulted in a double. It was then, at second base, that Danny and I spoke our first words to each other. Nice shot. You always hit it like that, right at the pitcher?
You're Reuven Malter.
That's right.
Your father is David Malter, the one who writes articles on the Talmud.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill you off your Corson this afternoon.
Yeah, right. Don't forget to rub your tzitzis for good luck. A pleasant introduction, right from the get-go.
Apikorsim, verbrennt soll werden.
The battle continued. Danny was up to batting in the third. The score tied at 2, one man out, and a guy on first.
Double play! Thank God! Great play, Malter! Great play! All right, troops, let's go. Let's get some insurance runs. Take the helm of this ship and turn it to our advantage.
We only played 5 innings. At the top of the 5th, we were leading 5-4. Mr. Galanter paced, nervous but pleased. The Hasidic rabbi on their bench was no longer reading. Our team was optimistic, and the Hasidim were now deathly quiet. Danny was up to bat. Mr. Galanter put me into pitch. I never wanted to strike out someone so much in my entire life. He was so smugly superior, so righteous. He had this devilish grin on his face, and I wanted to wipe it off, even more than I wanted to win. As I went into my windup, I thought, here's a present from an Apikoros.
Strike one! That's right. Take no prisoners. Let's get out of this jam. Strike two. Show no mercy. One more and we're out of here.
What did the doctor say, Abba?
He said you are far too literal a young man.
What?
He says next time your coach tells you to keep your eye on the ball, you should not take him quite so literally.
Abba.
He says everything should be fine. The concussion is not so serious, and they remove the piece of glass from your eye. They want to keep you a few days to make sure, but everything should be perfectly fine.
Thank God.
My little baseball player.
I'm assuming this doesn't increase your love for the game?
I worry about you. I worry all the time you get hit by a taxi or a trolley car. You go and get hit by a baseball.
Sorry, Abba.
You're very fortunate. If the glass had been the tiniest bit closer to your pupil, you could have lost your sight in that hour.
My God.
Rip Saunders called twice last night. He's very concerned.
Rip Saunders? Danny Saunders' father?
He says his son is sorry for what happened.
I'll just bet he's sorry. He's sorry he didn't kill me altogether.
I don't like to hear you talk that way.
I hate Danny Saunders. He's making you sick.
Me sick? How's he making me sick?
He hit me deliberately, and now he's making you sick worrying about me.
Deliberately?
He said that they would kill us up coursing. They turned the game into a holy war.
He told you it was deliberate?
Well, no,
So
but
you don't know it was deliberate.
no.
How can you say a thing like that if you're not sure? That is a terrible thing to say.
It seemed deliberate.
And things are always what they seem? Since when? Since when did this miracle take place that things are always what they seem? Now, I don't want you to talk like that anymore about Reb Saunders' son. I've heard he's a fine young man. Now, I brought you something. I would have brought you books, but the doctor says you're not allowed to read.
Not at all?
Not until the eye is totally healed. And don't worry, I will help you with your schoolwork. And you can listen to the radio and not be cut off from what is happening. Rome may fall any day now. Great things are happening, and the radio is a blessing.
Anything that brings the world closer together, you think is a blessing.
Am I wrong?
No.
I must go. You need to rest, and I have a deadline I mustn't miss.
Take care of yourself, Alan.
My little Maggia. Rest. I will see you tomorrow.
What it must be like not to see. Here I am, in a